What's up, betting family? Today we're diving into one of the most powerful and most misunderstood stats in football, DVOA. If you've ever seen it pop up in an article or on betting Twitter and thought, is that some kind of math problem? Don't worry, you're not alone. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what it means, how it works, and most importantly, how to use it to make smarter bets. So, let's start simple. DVOA stands for Defense, Adjusted Value Over Average. And that sounds like something you'd see on a spreadsheet in an economics class. But in plain English, here's what it really is. DVOA is a way of measuring how efficient a team is, but with context. Think of it like grading homework. If a kid gets a 90 on a test, that sounds great, right? But if it was an open book test with multiple choice questions, maybe that 90 doesn't mean much. On the other hand, if another kid gets a 90 on a brutal exam where nobody else even cracked an 80, that's a way more impressive score. Regular stats like yards per game or points per game just give you the raw grade. DVOA asks the smarter question, how tough was the test? Let's put that into football terms. Say a quarterback throws for 250 yards. That number looks fine. But what if I told you those yards came against the Jets' defense, which has been top 3 in the league? That suddenly looks way more impressive. What if the same 250 yards came against a defense like the Commanders, who let everyone move the ball on them? Suddenly those numbers aren't nearly as special. This is exactly what DVOA does. It adjusts the raw stats for the situation, the opponent, the down, the distance, even the game script, to tell you how much value that play really had compared to league average. Now, why should you care about this as a bettor? Because most stats you hear thrown around on TV or Twitter are incomplete. Yards per game, points per game, total rushing yards, they're like counting calories. Sure, it tells you a number, but it doesn't tell you whether it's junk food or protein. DVOA is the nutrition label. It tells you not just how much a team has done, but how good that production really was, once you factor in the quality of competition and the situation. It's huge, because it keeps you from falling into traps where a team looks dominant on paper, but is really just beating up on cupcakes. Here's your cheat sheet. DVOA is expressed as a percentage and league average is always 0. For offense, higher is better. So if a team's offensive DVOA is plus 20%, that means they're 20% more efficient than the average NFL offense. For defense, it flips. Lower is better. A defense sitting at minus 15% DVOA is holding opponents to 15% worse than average. That's elite. If you see a team at plus 25% on offense and minus 20% on defense, you're looking at a juggernaut. And yes, most Super Bowl teams fall somewhere in that territory. Let's walk through a real-world example so this clicks. Imagine the Cowboys' offense is sitting at plus 18%, which is top 5 in the league. They're efficient, they move the ball, they finish drives. Now they're facing the 49ers' defense, ranked at minus 22%. That's top 3, one of the stingiest units in the league. When those two meet, that's a true strength-on-strength matchup. I'll flip it around. The Cowboys' defense is plus 8%. Which actually means their below-average opponents are more efficient against them than against the typical NFL defense. Meanwhile, the 49ers offense is plus 12%, top 10 in the league. That mismatch tells you San Francisco's offense has the clearer path to success. Even though Dallas might put up points, the DVOA numbers show that San Francisco is more balanced and has the advantage overall. That's the beauty of this stat. It doesn't just tell you who has flashy numbers. It tells you which teams are efficient, which sides of the ball really matter in a matchup, and where the hidden edges are. Maybe a team has a 6-2 record, but their DVOA shows they're barely above average because they've been skating by against weak opponents. That's an overrated team you can fade. On the flip side, maybe a team is 3-5, but their DVOA is solidly top 10. That tells you they've been losing close games against elite competition, and that team is probably undervalued by the books. So here's your betting takeaway. DVOA is your BS detector. Don't just trust wins, losses, or raw stats. Always ask, were those numbers actually earned, or were they inflated by playing cupcakes? DVOA gives you that answer. It helps you spot which teams are truly efficient and which ones are smoke and mirrors. When two teams look equal by record or public perception, DVOA will usually tell you who's actually better, and betting on efficiency pays a lot better than betting on vibes.